Now, too often, we end up just replacing our blades when we're stuck in a rainstorm and then realize that we can't see.
Right. You know, the wiper blades last about 6 months at best. And the bigger problem that you see is that the conventional blades that we're all used to, like these, they have uneven pressure points. You know, they're spaced across, but they leave gaps. And then you combine with the fall, where you have leaves, you have sap, you have acorns, all kinds of schmutz, for example, falling off the trees and on the road, gets in there, and then you're wiping across. What we did was we tested a number of conventional. We also tested beam blades, just like this. Beam blades, a little more expensive than the conventional replacement blades, but they put an even pressure across the windshield. So basically, if you take a look at it, you know, imagine that was your glass, you know, it's flat, it's even, they're going to have the same pressure across there. They perform much better in our testing than the conventional blades. And, you know, again...
But can I put that on? If I have regular blades now, can I put them on?
You can. They have a universal adapter. Basically, you're going to pop this off. There's a little hook underneath, and then this piece in here, it just slides right on. So there's going to be an application for your car.
All right, John. Now, I see a whole bunch of car waxes here, and I know in the Northeast, we really have to protect our paint finishes from all the salt and the corrosion that could happen with the bad weather.
Even out in the Pacific Northwest, you know, they've been getting some hard winters, so they have to do it as well.
But why, throughout the country, whether or not you have snow or ice in your area, why is it important to protect?
Well, you know, the cars all come with protectant on them. You know, it's very thin paint on the vehicle, and then you get this stuff that's on the car, and it just eats away at the paint. It goes through the clear coat. In the worst case situation, eats away the paint and causes rust. The minute you get that stuff off, you're not allowing it to eat in as quickly. So, you know, it's the bird poop, it's the sap and stuff like that. You might think, oh, I'm going to leave it, and then all of a sudden it becomes 2 months, and it's already burned its way through the paint. You've marred the finish, and you could have rust.
And what have you found in the tests?
Well, what we found is that the spray-on waxes really don't last nearly as long as the paste. The paste really are better. They're going to last about 4 months or so with that. It's something that you want to make sure you do multiple times during the year. It's not just springs here, we wax up the car for summertime, and we're done, and then lasts until the next spring. What you want to do is really do it seasonally. Do it right before winter. Again, you know, you're going to have the fall stuff falling on the car. You know, we've taken care of the windows. You want to clean the vehicle off, take it to a car wash it in your driveway. If it's cold already, even go into your garage, you know, and do that so the water runs out. And then wax the car. And if you get a warm winter day as well, you want to do the same thing.
So all of this could really save you money.
Well, it could definitely save you money. I mean, if you're thinking about a paint job, you know, even Earl Scheib, you know, $99.95 to paint something on the car, that's still more money you want to spend than you can buy, you know, $12, $15 worth of supplies and wax your car.
That's true. And you have to put some elbow grease into it with the
You do. What you have to do is, I mean, if you take a look at some of the waxes, they are going to come with, if I could open this up, a pad, you know, so you're going to have to do a little bit of waxing on, waxing off like Daniel San did. You are going to first take the bucket, fill it up with water, fill it up with soap, get some elbow grease in there, get stuff off. And then when you're done with that and you have to take the wax off, people are probably used to years of using these terry cloth towels. And, you know, they're cheap. You know, you get a bunch of these for $1. But the problem is they have an abrasive quality to them. I mean, you could even see the dust that's coming off when I do this. You know, they don't last a long time. Pick up one of these. It's a microfiber cloth. It's much easier on the paint. It's easy to pull the stuff off. You know, you don't have to go resort to the old baby's diaper. This is the type of thing you should pick up. A little more expensive, but again, you know, we put a lot of money into our cars. Want to make sure that you get the best out of it.
And you do have to worry about it more when the finish is darker. Isn't that the case?
That's right. What happens with car, you know, a lighter color car, it might show dirt, but you can get away with, you know, not as efficient with the waxing. But with a darker car, shows swirls, shows scuffs, stuff like that. So you want to be careful. You don't want to push too hard, and you don't really want to use an orbital or a power buffer unless you know what you're doing.
When wintertime comes, the last thing you want to do is be stranded in your car with a dead battery.
People really think that the problem with the battery is when it's cold, but actually it's heat. Heat is the #1 killer of batteries. And if you're living in the South this year and you've had the Texan summer, your battery probably was really strained this year. So even if you're in a colder climate, you want to check your battery often. Every 2 years in the summertime areas or the hot areas, every 4 years in the winter climates. So you don't want to be stuck maybe on a hot day coming out to your car, turning it on, and all of a sudden, you know, nothing. You know, you can't turn on the car, you're sweating. Same thing in the winter. You don't want to come out from the airport and have your car in the parking lot, you turn it on, and all of a sudden you have to get a jump. So you want to make sure you take care of your batteries on a regular basis.
How do I check it?
Okay, well, the first thing is you want to make sure that the battery terminals, for example, that they are snug connections and that they don't have any kind of, you know, grit or a white crusty powder to them, because that's what happens when they oxidize. You can get a brush like this. You could scrape them off. Just make sure that, you know, you're cleaning it off. That's fine to do that. You know, on this battery, you can just take, this is a terminal, just clean those off. We're really pretty much done with maintenance batteries for the most part, but if you do have a battery that has removable caps here, you can fill it with distilled water. It's key to make sure that you use distilled water and not regular tap water, just to make sure that it is able to take a full charge. Also, one of the things you may want to do is if you have a garage, you could park indoors at night. In the wintertime or in the heat of the summer, you could buy a trickle charger. It's a small little charging pack. You plug it into the wall, you clip them on at night, and it doesn't really drain a lot of electricity from your house to charge up your bill, but it'll make sure the battery's tip-top.
Okay. And what else do I need to do to prepare for winter, or just to maintain my car to make sure it lasts as long as I can?
Well, one of the things you want to do with batteries in particular is go and have it tested again, in the summertime, summer heat months, every 2 years, in the winter climes, every 4 years. Excuse me, 4 years. And you want to go there, they'll test it, they'll tell you if the battery has enough charge in it, and then if not, you can buy and replace the battery. Make sure that you have the battery replaced by the people. It's a heavy object. I mean, these things weigh a lot. It's not something that everyone wants to be installing themselves, so have them put it in there as part of the service.
Will they do that for free,
They will.
typically?
They should. I mean, you're
Okay.
paying $120, $130, $140 for a battery, depending on what it is, and it's awkward. They'll make sure that it's installed properly for you.